What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co host, Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapachet. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much once more for stopping by on this Sunday evening. We are recording on a Sunday evening. You guys might remember or might not remember, but earlier in the week I did celebrate a birthday, and it was quite a very full schedule, a very eventful week. So I was like, shit, man, I gotta find the time, yada yada. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get crack a like on a Wednesday. So my apologies, but thank you for your patience, of course, because we knew that we were going to come back on Sunday to make sure to record something for you guys. One of the primary reasons we like to record on Wednesdays is oftentimes stories come out during the week, and we don't want to wait until the following Sunday. And of course, we want to give you guys more content. So those are the primary why we wanted to do it for you. And although we weren't able to get on there, a lot of stuff happened during the week. That definitely stuff we want to be talking about, and some stuff even going on right now. If you guys happen to see, I don't know if you guys can see, but my TV's on. But we wanted to wait. We thought about waiting. Me and Andrew thought about waiting until after Opetaia fights tonight, but then that'll be like way late. And we're like, no. Let's just go ahead and record now and get crack-a-lackin'. We don't. It doesn't get too late, and of course, we don't go another day without giving you guys some sort of content. We got plenty to talk about, right? And right as I said that, my damn camera started going out of focus. But one of the things that we're going to be talking about, of course, is Opetaia. He's going to be entering the ring here momentarily, and the whether or not the IBF belt is going to be on the line, it's not looking like it. And I'm curious to see how Opetaia is going to come out to the ring. We're going to be talking about that, of course. We're going to talk about a few other things. This Tom Aspinall, UFC heavyweight champion, signing with Matchroom Boxing's talent agency, which I had no idea there was such a thing, but apparently there is. And Eddie Hearn is spearheading it. So we'll see how exactly that plays out. We're going to throw you guys our opinions and what we think might or might not happen. It looks like Jake Paul is signed a deal, a multi-year deal with ESPN. Holy hell, we're going to be talking about that already. Not just announcing that they've signed a deal with ESPN, but also their first card happening in April. We're going to be talking about that. And the latest development with one Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Oscar De La Hoya. Holy hell, this thing is going to be dragged out like a mother. I certainly hope this doesn't take too many years off of Ortiz's career, but it's not looking very good the way things are going. And it may very well, I mean, it already has soured his relationship with Oscar. So we'll see if there's any reconciliation, if I'm pronouncing that properly. All right. So before we get into those topics, as always, I want to make sure to mention our video sponsors. Health E Sol, tallow-based products, tallow-based soap in particular. Make sure to give them a try. Check them out if you happen to like or see anything you like on their website, Health E Sol or Health Y Sol. And you want to check them out, make sure to use the code MADBoxing10 at checkout and get 10% off of your purchase, or follow the affiliate link that's going to be in the description of this video and get that same 10%. Lavender patchouli is my favorite in particular. That's the one that I primarily use for just about everything. So make sure to check them out. Health Isol. I would normally pull up a little sticker of it, but that sometimes causes my camera to lose focus the way it is now, which quite frankly might actually help me get refocused here. But regardless, we're going to get crack-a-lackin' on this Sunday evening. Chances are you guys might see this tomorrow, but we're going to be recording here on Sunday before we get crack-a-lackin'. All right, so let's see here. The first thing we're going to be talking about is what's going on tonight, literally over my right shoulder here. So if you see the light on the shadow outside of my face, it's because the damn screen is going off in different directions. But Opetaia putting his Ring Magazine Lineal Championship on the line against one Brandon Glanton in a cruiserweight title championship fight, right? Now, there has been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation as to whether or not the IBF championship belt is going to be up for grabs, because last we heard, the IBF initially said no, then they said yes, then they said no again. Last I hear, around the time of the most recent or the last press conference, which I think was Thursday, they said no. They didn't like, they don't want to be, alongside Zuffa. And even then, there's even more speculation and what people are hearing that they didn't like the way the IBF belt was presented or displayed, I should say, during that press conference. So at the end, they can give out all the reasons, of course, but bottom line is, if there's not a guy who's in that top 10 or whatever the IBF ruling is that deserves a title shot or should have a title shot, they're going to just not sanction the bout. So it seems as though that is not going to be the case. And literally within seconds, right, I'm watching over there, I'm going to see if Jai Opetaia comes out with the belt. But Andrew, last we hear, the IBF belt will not be on the line here. Do you think that means that they're going to strip him of the championship, or they're just going to simply not sanction it here and maybe sanction it for any future fights?
Well, no, it most definitely means they're going to strip him tonight of the title because he took the fight for the Zuffa belt against a fighter that was not ranked in the top 10 of the IBF. How is he ever going to make the title defense for the IBF? They would have to give him some kind of what is it, period, to get him a chance to make the title defense. Then Zuffa would have to acknowledge it and go, "Oh yeah, that's what we'll do. Don't worry, we'll get this fight together right away." So Zuffa's working for the IBF now? No, the thing's not going to work. You know what's going to work in this little show that they're putting on right now is only when the Zuffa guy gets to fight an undisputed guy. Maybe he wins all 5 titles. They could take a few pictures, and then immediately everyone's getting stripped. That's how it's always going to be in this world because there's just too many people to please now, right? And Zuffa doesn't look like they're going to be the ones that budge. So I think it was the right move by the IBF, to be honest with you, Miguel. You can't give someone a title shot who's ranked 15th in your ratings. That's absurd, right? And Opetaia hasn't done anything recently to say, oh, well, let's just give him one freebie. We'll give him this one, right? We've seen organizations do this before where they'll allow a fighter to take a lesser ranked guy. I'm glad the IBF is standing behind this one because I just have a feeling if the IBF went through with the fight and took the sanctioning fees, there would be someone probably out there ready to complain about that too. Oh, look, they'll rank anybody, to get a title defense as long as you're giving them that money. So let's give the IBF props for standing behind their rankings and their number one. I don't even know if they have a number one guy right now because when I looked, they didn't. But standing behind their rankings and not just folding because Zuffa put this fight together.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point too. Future fights, if maybe let's say the IBF was generous this one time, and they're like, all right, go ahead and fight against this guy who's not a mandatory challenger, but the next one has to be. Well, the next one, what? He's going to have to sign with Zuffa too, because I don't think they're going to do another one, and they're going to just continue doing these exceptions. Chances are they're not going to do that. So it seems the likely route is they're just going to strip him of it. I'm watching right now. They didn't even come out with the Ring Magazine belt either. They just came out with just his that thing that he has around his neck or whatever, and no Ring Magazine. In fact, I'm not even sure if they've showed or once they announce them, I'm assuming they're going to bring up that Zuffa belt, but. Just a quick quote here from what Mike Carpenter was saying earlier today. As reported on Zuffa Boxing pre-show with Molly, I don't know her last name, obtained an email from IBF President Daryl Peoples where he said he withdrew sanctioning of Jai Opetaia's and Brandon Glanton's because he felt the placement of the belt at Friday's press conference embarrassed the IBF. So I mean, we can say that's what it is, but really, in the long run, it would be much better to just take the belt away from him, which kind of puts Jai in a weird position because he's like, well, he wanted to unify, he wanted to be the undisputed champion, and supposedly that's what he still wants. But I don't know if whatever it is, the carrot that Zuffa is dangling in front of him is any better than his dream of becoming the undisputed champion, because that seems highly unlikely now, which we kind of knew from the jump, right? As soon as we heard him sign, we're like, hold up, this is kind of weird. How is this going to work? Well, now we're kind of seeing it in play, and it doesn't look like that IBF belt's going to be on the line. At least it doesn't look like it. So,
and Miguel, maybe it is true that they felt a little disrespected and just decided to pull their belt from the fight. I still got to believe that at some point the scheduling was going to play, or the ratings the rankings was going to play a role into this belt being stripped anyways, and the IBF seen that coming. But the reason why I feel like maybe there was a pass to be given to Opetaia tonight was because they had no one ranked number one. Maybe that was their little loophole. You know what I mean? They're like, you know what? Because there's no one ranked number one, we don't have anyone ready for you. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let you fight whoever the fuck you want. Go ahead and fight them. Yeah. So then the fight does get made. They were going to do a sanctioning, but then, and look, we've talked about Turkey's demeanor, his attitude towards the belts in the past. We've seen Suleiman get put on the side, right? We've seen them asked to not even bring a WBC title onto the stage. So we've seen all of these things in the past. Maybe the IBF seen it too on something they were watching and got, you know, we're done. And they all looked at each other and said, you know, this ain't going to work anyways. You know?
Yeah, that's very true. And I think this is, it's a good move. I'm considering the kind of image and narrative that Zuffa wants around the championship belts, you know, with the sanction fees and shit like that. They kind of want to make it look like they're a bad thing. When we see stuff like Usyk going to be defending his WBC championship against a fucking, you know, kickboxer in wherever, in Egypt or whatever, to have that be on the line, it makes sanctioning bodies look much worse. And mind you, they don't help. They don't make a case for themselves either. They make it worse sometimes. So I can understand the IBF position here with going that route. Yeah.
But let's put it out there. That's made by Turkey. Turkey put the WBC didn't make that fight. Now, shame on Suleiman.
But sanctioning it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So if you want him to pull the WBC title from Usyk too, well, then that probably is what should happen. Maybe they should take a page out of the IBF's book tonight and do that. But yeah, then you're talking about you're almost drawing a line in the sand there, right? Because Usyk is a lot bigger than Opetaia. So yeah, I do agree with you that I don't like the fact that they're sanctioning that fight as a professional belt. But that's not that's the WBC's fault, but they're not the ones who made that fight. This is Turkey who's
right.
I mean, if you're gonna put up the cash, right? That's why I guess the true the only answer to the WBC is to make a phony belt. That's really what they should be making for that one. Some kind of kickboxing/boxing belt, you know. I'm just because you're right. You can't sanction this one. You can't sanction it, but it's not their fault either. All they're doing, like, you can't penalize a guy for getting money, right? And this is a show. This isn't a real fight. They shouldn't even have this one as a real fight. It's a kickboxer fighting a boxer in front of a pyramid for fun. You know, that's what they're doing. They're just making a lot of money doing it.
Spending a lot of money. I'm sure that's right, along with everything else, the logistics of everything.
And to be honest with you, it's not. It's also. Let me go ahead and put that out there right now. Let's just get it out. It's not happening. In the current state of the Middle East, that fight will not be happening, Miguel.
All right. They're in the ring right now. It looks like they're barely a minute and a half in. Glanton seems to be pushing Opetaia back. Opetaia is kind of taking his sweet ass time, but that does kind of sort of bleed into the second story, and probably the poor choice of words there. But on the ring, of course, there is Riyadh season, right? Which is how this whole thing started, right? Why Turkey is in the picture, bringing in money. I forget the name of the specific project that they called it, but essentially it was like Project 2030 or something like that, where basically they use, for lack of a better term, boxing to bring tourism to Saudi Arabia. That's kind of the whole point, right? And it wasn't just boxing; it was also WWE, to some extent, the UFC and others, Formula One, but a whole bunch of other shit, right? And that was kind of the whole point. And you'll see Riyadh season kind of plastered all over different sports because they're the Saudis are invested in it, have invested money in it to some degree, bring tourism back to Saudi Arabia and host events there to bring people there. Well, as of recently, I mean, I forget when exactly it happened, maybe like last week sometime, there was a bombing in Saudi Arabia. Holy hell. It looks like the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh struck by Iranian drones. Oh shit. Just got serious real fast. It's not about, going over there. Now it's like everything that's going on over there. They just got dragged in. They just got dragged in along with everything else. Let me go ahead and read this. This was from a few days back, though, but still relevant. Breaking. According to reports, the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, was hit by 2 drones on March 2nd, 2026, sparking a fire and prompting a shelter-in-place alert for U.S. citizens in Riyadh. This is the cities: Riyadh, Jeddah, if I can pronounce it, Jeddah, and Dhahran, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The Saudi Defense Ministry said. The strike came amid escalating Middle East tensions following the U.S. and Israeli military action against Iran, with regional security advisors increasing and travel warnings issued. Oh shit, that got serious real fucking fast, right? So it's not just now, yay, Riyadh season, yeah, we're gonna use boxing, wrestling, UFC to have tourism. Now it's like, oh shit, now and nobody gonna want to go over there, right? I mean, things were timid as it was, right? I mean, we know the culture over there is substantially different. It's like night and day. We even talked about this back then. Like, how is the nightlife going to be over there? How are they going to bring all this shit, right? So things were kind of already on the fence to begin with. Now with bombs dropping, I don't know who the fuck's gonna want to go out there. I was talking, Andrew and I was talking prior to recording, and I was trying to look to see like the boxing schedule, what fights were going to be taking place over there. The only one that came to mind was Canelo later on in September, but then this one, of course, this is going to be in Egypt. So, damn, Andrew, holy fuck, right? That totally it blows. It's bigger than boxing at this point. It just blows everything out of the fucking water, right?
Yeah, no, you absolutely hit that one on the head. It's bigger than boxing now. Look, since that report came out, there's been other bombings in Saudi Arabia. They've hit some oil refineries over there.
Right. Yeah, I did hear about
that. Saudi Arabia is using missile defense to take drones down. It's almost like they're in a full-scale war without being in it, declaring they're in it yet. Yet there's a lot going on their land right now with Iran. They are reaching out. They haven't thrown a bomb yet, as far as I've seen. They have not retaliated, but they are telling Iran that they are going to allow the USA to use their bases for retaliation if they don't cool it, basically. And with that being said, we talked about the prince and his changes in that region and how they were going to be accepted. It looks like they're not being accepted too good, right? Because they're getting bombs thrown on them. With him telling Iran that they're ready to side with America, that's a bad one. That's almost like you've picked your side, right? And now you are the enemy from here on out.
Yeah, and pick the wrong side,
right?
In
his neighborhood,
right? His neighborhood. That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah.
In his neighborhood, he's banging really hard right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, just a whole lot has changed out there. Like you said, Miguel, this whole thing was started to bring tourism to that region. Right now, that region is kind of chaotic. We don't know where it is right now, and where it's going to be in the near future. You might see a hold get put on everything, just for at least this year. I don't see anything happening out there. So if I was you, Sick, I would probably not get my travels situated too far to go over to Giza, because it might not happen this year. I'm almost guaranteed it's not going to happen this year, dude. There's just way too much going on there. And so yeah, it sucks. It sucks for everyone involved. I hope you didn't make your bed too far on the Turkey side, because if that well dries up, oh boy, is it going to be rough for you to come back over. A lot was said.
Yeah, no kidding. And it's not only is it, I mean, I guess besides this issue, the fact that what's his name, Usyk's fight is coming this soon, and like I think they said May or something like that, right? Like you can kind of sort of still, be optimistic about potentially, having Canelo go over there and fight the Mexico versus the world, which shit, kind of think of it, they might actually have to change that because it's like, no, let's not make it so, war sounding
Yeah.
if they still go with that. But, if we're going to be optimistic, maybe they can still make that card over there by September. Maybe things calm down by then. But May is like around the corner, only a couple months away. And that thing, if I want to say that was the date that they had, May 23rd or something like that. I thought it was going to be for Usyk's fight. So it's bad enough that this is happening. It's like now this fight is happening in May. I mean, who the hell knows if it even going to happen at all, right? I mean, for all we know, it's not going to happen at all, and not just over there specifically, but I mean, period. Like it ain't happening anywhere. So it's nuts. This thing is just like there's a lot of stuff. I mean, in addition to this, that's kind of like weirdly kind of incorporating into the sports world, and we're like, oh shit, this is like, more often than not we watch sports that kind of just forget about this shit, and when it starts to get involved in it, like fuck, you can't even escape it there, you know what I'm saying? And that's by and large why we don't really talk about it much, but this is kind of unavoidable. They say it happened the way it happened, and it involves Riyadh season, and that's the reason we're primarily talking about it. But we've
seen two parts of that region try to get a little bit westernized in Dubai and Riyadh. Both of them were bombed.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying, coincidence? I don't know, but I didn't think they were gonna play to that whole casino. Let's have some nightclubs, scratchy, some DJs playing, some alcohol flowing.
Right.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, I highly doubt they were gonna. I mean, we thought maybe they were gonna, right? It seemed like they were making the attempt. I'm gonna bring up this other one here that you sent me here. So apparently there's a Wynn Resort casino that was being constructed over there as well, right?
Yeah.
And now it seems as though things have just kind of halted. You know what I'm saying? Like, understandably so, right? I heard that they were going to do that. I didn't know that they stopped until you sent me this Wynn Resort that's going to be out in the Middle East over there. But it seems as though even that came to a halt. So everybody's like, "Oh shit, we ain't doing anything." It seemed like throws everything, huh?
It seemed like what they were immediately scared about is being the symbol of change. And that's the symbol you don't want to be, is a gambling change out there, right? And Wynn might be maybe he's a little bit rethinking his if he really wants to go out there. That's and it makes sense, right? It puts a target on you. You are the ones that brought the infidels, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's we would be asking for it at that point, like just go there and build the fucking thing, build a big old building. It's like, hello, can we be more on the target at this point? Like, it's bad enough that, we're not on the best of terms, but we're going to go and do this over there in the Middle East and, build this fucking Americanized casino, westernized casino. Yeah. Terrible idea. And if you look at if you see the videos and the clips, they're like, already constructed and it looks nice. It's like shit. Now they're just gonna have to like.
Hey Miguel, you just did one of those a few minutes later. Terrible idea. Terrible. Yeah. What were we thinking? Right. You guys, get the fuck out of there.
Like whose idea was this? Who gave this the green light? Shit. Oh man. All right, but we wanted to throw that at you guys because this shit was like, whoa, it came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh damn, we got to talk about it because it did happen between the last time that we had a show and then tonight, of course. So, wow, prayers for everybody, right? Make sure that prayers first and foremost. But holy hell, that throws quite the monkey wrench into the Riyadh season plans.
Gaza, especially the Gaza. Supposed to happen in a few weeks. I don't know. Heavily guarded if it does happen.
Yeah. Man, that's gonna be that's gonna be something if they still go through with it. Jesus, how are they gonna convince Usyk? Be like, yeah, it'll be fine. It's like, we know, you had to go back to your country for war, but this is fine. Like, no, I had to fucking halt my boxing career, go war with my country, against Russia, and then now this, like, no, I ain't coming back in here. Shit, I escaped it then. I'm not gonna try to put my life at risk now that I'm supposed to be enjoying my fucking career, the twilight of his career. Oh man. Okay, so Um, just a quick recap. It looks like we're entering round 4 of this. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. I'm watching out of the corner of my eye and still kind of talking to you. It seems as though Glanton is just walking forward. I'm not sure how well his aggression is doing because I'm kind of like seeing it half-half. But he seems to be walking forward. He's like basically keeping Opetaia's back doesn't reach the ropes, but it seems as though he's like circling essentially the exterior of the fucking ring. They're not fighting in the middle of the ring, and it looks like Glanton is just coming forward. But again, I haven't really been paying too much attention, so I can't tell if the aggression is like what's the word? Like his punches are landing, like he's doing it
Being successful at
correctly.
it. Yes.
Yeah, being successful at it or not. But it seems well. It's kind of funny that we talked about this because one of the criticisms of Zuffa boxing is how their their fight shorts look so bland and just so sterile. The whole fucking thing does. But they gave Jai like a little design of like his tribal tattoos or something on one of his pant legs of the shorts, and of course with the big old Zuffa logo on there, regardless. But anyway, they're like, yeah, we'll give you a little bit of flavor, sure, why not?
Oh, that makes him special.
It does, because ain't nobody else had that shit. Ain't nobody else having that. I mean, the home dude over here, his opponent has something on there. I can't tell what it is, but it's like it looks like the Filipino flag or something. But he's not Filipino. It's like that center emblem, that like kind of sunburst looking thing.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. I don't think that's what it is, but that's what it looks like. And it's black on black. He's got black trunks with that shininess on that the gloss on that design. Kind of weird, but anyway, they seem to be giving these guys a little bit more slack. At least these guys. Oh, and then boy, Max Kellerman is going off, man. Shit, I've been listening to him. Sometimes I just have to mute it sometimes because he goes a little off. But he did mention something that kind of sort of segues into the next story here. He talked about the cruiserweight division and two of the best cruiserweights in its history. Usyk and Holyfield eventually became heavyweight champions and became great heavyweight champions, and they see that route for Jai Opetaia. Well, in regards to heavyweights, this one was kind of a weird one. I know a lot of people were talking about it as soon as it happened, like it was like oh, very very giddy. But Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing Talent Agency signed the UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Andrew, but Tom is English. He's an English fighter, so it kind of sort of made sense that he was cool with those guys. He is still signed with the UFC. I know a lot of people, a lot of comments have been going back and forth, making it seem like this is some sort of like pettiness as he's trying to get somehow Dana back and Zuffa back for the Conor debacle, Conor Ben, I mean. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. I'm not even sure how this is going to play out. But as I understand it, it looks like there is a talent agency now, Matchroom Boxing, and Tom Aspinall is either the first or the only, I guess, right now, fighter assigned to them. When I think of talent agency, Andrew, I think of like a model. I think modeling. You know what I'm saying? I think an agency that kind of like gets you gigs, that goes out and finds you gigs, and helps kind of push you so you can get jobs here and there. Well, Aspinall already has a job. He's the UFC heavyweight champion. He's signed with the UFC. So I don't, and whatever contract Aspinall signed with the UFC now, I can't imagine it's going to end anytime soon. I suspect he might be maybe in the middle of it right now. So I don't know how much room for negotiation there would be at any point from here on out for, I would think, maybe Eddie and Matchroom Talent Agency to come in and make some sort of changes or something. Eddie himself has said, I was fucking amazed at some of the piss poor payments or piss poor pays that he's gotten purses from some of his fights, talking about Aspinall's fights. What do we make of this? What role will they actually have in this?
He has a mole behind enemy lines now. He gets to get some ammo on Dana White, his business mind, right? Gets to look at those contracts, gets to pick at them, nitpick at them. I can't see too much else. Look, we all like making money, Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
If they do have a sports talent agency, basically what they're doing is they're taking athletes and then I believe helping them with their contracts. They're helping them get commercials, sponsorships, things like that, right? So acquiring the UFC heavyweight champ is probably, I would say, pretty big because, well, the UFC doesn't pay their fighters good money. It seems that the UFC makes good money in all of their events, right? They have a fan base, a following.
Sure.
So this young man probably is going to do great over there when they start putting him in their portfolio, right? When they give all their athletes to their commercials, all the guys looking to do some sponsoring, they'll go, hey, we got the UFC heavyweight champ now. Boom. People can go, oh, yeah, let me get him. Can I get him for my car? Can I get him for my commercial, basically? So he should make some good money on the kid. You know, so why would you turn that away? I don't think it's petty at all. I think, you know, if there's money to be made, you sign them and you're killing two birds with one stone. You get a little bit of juice on Dana White and how crazy these contracts are, because we've always heard of them. But have we ever had someone as smart as Matchroom actually looking at them? Because I bet you we're going to find out a whole lot now, right? Don't piss Eddie off, or he's probably going to start saying all the shit, the deductibles, what they're charging, right? What it costs to go to that fancy gym that they like to brag about over there at Zuffa. You know, sign with us and you got state-of-the-art gym and state-of-the-art doctors. He's probably figuring out what all that is costing these fighters and seeing if it's really worth what they're giving up fighting under Zuffa or fighting under the UFC, whichever one you're choosing.
Well, so this is my take. I know that by and large, the UFC they don't really let fighters make money outside of the UFC that doesn't involve them getting a piece. Oh, shit. Sorry. Jai Opetaia just took a knee. I thought he got hit to the body. I think it was a low blow. Sorry. I just saw it right now because he just took a knee and I was like, oh,
man, that cannot happen,
yeah,
bro.
No, I know, right? But I think it was a low blow, but that's why he took it there. It was something. I don't know. Yeah.
They ain't counting, no. They're not.
No, they're not counting. They're giving him some time. Glanton's lip is a little. Oh yeah, that was a low blow. That was borderline. I mean, I just saw it. They just showed the replay right now. I didn't see it. They were in close. They got him in there. But as I was saying, the UFC generally doesn't really let their fighters go out and make their own money too much. I mean, I know that for their big money makers, they got to have their hand in the pocket somehow, and I don't know to what extent, and I'm not sure entirely if that's even the case with Aspinall. I assume so because he is the heavyweight champion, and I think that's usually the way it works with the champs. So, granted, maybe this will help Jesus Christ, Aspinall go out and make money with commercials over there in the UK, but I have to assume that the UFC is going to get their cut of it. So I maybe this actually helps the UFC. I mean, it sucks that that's the way it's going to be ultimately. Granted, maybe that'll bring more money to Aspinall, but in turn, that would probably give some cut to the UFC anyway. With I think the proper 12 whiskey and a bunch of other shit, that's usually the way they work. I don't know if that's the case here, but as I understand it, that's usually the way they work. Can you imagine some of the meetings with them too? And I mean, I don't know if he's going to be there. I'm talking about Eddie, but I wonder if there's going to be any of those kind of meetings where they're going to have to be face to face and they're going to have to, have his lawyers, take a look at the stuff. It's like, fuck, now these guys have much more better, more, I guess, higher priced lawyers that can do shit for them, which I'm sure the UFC is not going to like. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe Eddie and they will, Matchroom talent agency will help him make more money outside of the octagon. I don't know if he'll do it inside, but I have to assume the UFC will get their cut. I'm saying.
Yes, that might be true. One thing I got to say about the UFC stronghold on the MMA world is I think it's limited to the MMA world. They've got to watch out how many people know their tricks in their trade, because Matchroom's not dumb. It's not their first rodeo. You're not dealing with some MMA half-ass manager that, has been doing a lot of bar fights in his career. You're messing with the best now. And like you just said, they have lawyers, dude. All they need to do is find one thing that they were doing wrong in the contract to void a contract and move on with life. And they have the lawyers that would find those loopholes. Now, granted, I know the UFC has their own too, and they would get drug out in court battle. But I I don't know. I think the UFC fighters needed this, and I hope this is something that continues to happen. Is it a lot of money? Is it going to cost the young man probably a majority of his check to get this kind of representation? Yes, it is. But what happened to the UFC in this last few months to their fighters? It's kind of out there in the public. You see fighters are talking about it now. They're feeling like they're getting dogged. You see a lot of the insiders, the MMA media talking about, hey, what's going on? How is it they're signing these boxers at this price, yet we can't get raises for the guys that put the $7 billion in the bank? Really, they're the, it was on their backs, and I just don't know if they can trust the UFC. So I think you want to go out and find people that can represent you, just to look at it. Just to have them look at it, see if there's something in there that can get you out of a contract, or if there's something in there that can somehow get them the representation that they need to maybe take it to court. Is there a limit to how much you can rob a person? Until the courts go, no, wait a minute. Yeah, we know what this says, but dude, you went overboard. We got to rework this.
Yeah,
who knows?
There's a word for it too. Like, it's not as simple as, well, he signed it. Like, it's not as simple as that. It's like, exactly. No. You knew what the fuck you were doing, fool. He didn't. Like, don't go that route. Even if it's already signed, there's a specific word for it, and I forget what it's called. But basically, it's that. It's like, we understand that he signed it, but what kind of representation did he have? Like, you guys know what the fuck you're doing. It's like a damn car dealership here. You have to know what the fuck you're doing. But that has happened where like people have gotten bailed out because it was obvious how like pathetically one side of the contract was.
Yeah, and when you hear Strickland put out things like 10 for 10, right? Getting 10 fights for $100,000. These things are on fucking pay-per-view, Miguel, making millions of dollars. You're paying $10,000 to the main event guys, right? But they're foreigners. They're coming over here with no representation. They barely speak English. Are all those contracts legit? You know what I mean? Like, so there's, and to be honest with you, you guys, I think we've made a valid point for Queensberry last week that they're a big powerhouse over there. That is not that's not Don King with one fighter on his way out. That man had like the whole heavyweight stable under his belt. Two of the heavyweights that are coming out as the next big thing, Muay Mutaya?
No, what the hell's his name? Jesus. Moses, right? The Moses guy.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember how to pronounce his last name, but Moses.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
And then Wardley. These are two of the biggest stars coming out of the UK, are both under Queensberry. Then he already has Tyson Fury. He already has Dubois. He already has Chisora. Like, that man had a serious roster. Zhang, Parker. He had a serious roster. Don't think that he hasn't made money for his politicians over there. Don't think he hasn't made some friends in the court systems over there, right? I'm sure he's donated a few checks. Hey, we told Mr. Meridian not to be so fucking confident going up with Oscar in his courtrooms, and what happened then? We're going to talk about it, but I'm just saying, Oscar's made friends in the courts too. And now you look at Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's brought in some big fights to the UK. He's generated some huge money for them. Money that I do not know if the UFC has generated. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, like, can they match? Can they match the? Thank you, Ben. The live gates that Tyson Fury put up, that Klitschko put up, that AJ is putting up, 80,000 sold out. I don't know. They might look at that and go, no, we kind of do. Eddie's been our guy for a while.
Yeah, I found this post. My buddy sent it to me. My homeboy Martin sent it to me through Instagram from payouts from the recent UFC card, which happened last night. There's a fighter on here, Rafael Tobias, made $16K. That was his pay. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I'm sure he was on the undercard, like the preliminaries. I'm not sure right offhand if he won his fight or not. But that sounds like one of those type of fights, like one of those, like, when you fight for 16, or 16-16, you fight, and
Yeah.
maybe he lost or something, and he ends up only getting that. But for being like, a major UFC, and mind you, this is not the era pay-per-view anymore, at least not in the UFC, but it's just a numbered event that was a big deal on Paramount Plus. It's the equivalent of what would have been a pay-per-view had pay-per-view still been around. And for a fighter who fought, and maybe he wasn't on a pay-per-view card, maybe he was on the prelims, but regardless, it is 16K is like, what the fuck, yo, for being the Super Bowl or the NFL of MMA. Goddamn, yeah. But that could, like, it could open the eyes of a lot of other UFC fighters and be like, hold on, what? He can get that kind of representation to kind of and again, he is the UFC heavyweight champion, so maybe his pull is a little different than your average guy who's opening up the pay-per-view card, but it at least opens their eyes to the possibility of, like, oh shit, I can probably get someone like that to represent me for the next time my contract comes up or something like that. Again, it's the MMA world, so it's a different animal, because there aren't any other ones that you can go around. Boxing is another story, right? You can go to a different promoter. It's kind of not exactly the same thing, but at the very least, maybe this kind of opens the eyes of fighters so they know that there's a possibility of this.
I do want to put out there, Miguel, that I believe if the MMA world, the UFC world, all came together and said enough was enough, which I believe is starting to happen. I don't know. All these fixed fights that are coming up, bro, all of these dropout fights that are happening, guys missing weight by a mile, guys not, I guess, just dropping out of the negotiations, them not being able to sign Conor. You see, Conor came out this weekend. I honestly feel like somebody would be there to pick up the tab, you guys. If you guys really did say, you know what, fuck this, we're standing down, and let UFC shut their doors on just a holdout, dude. Just a flat out hold, a blackball. What did Major League Baseball do? Remember when they all stood together and they just boycotted? NHL has done it. Hockey, I believe they did a holdout one year. I remember.
Yeah, the strike. I remember. I remember the strike of 1994. I remember specifically.
The NFL. Yeah. The NFL did it. Remember, Major League Baseball, they say, only got brought back because of steroids.
Yeah, because of the home run race. That's basically the way they made it seem, right? It's like, oh shit, they're the ones that came and said, oh fuck, oh, it happened again. What the hell? Another low blow. He took another knee, but it was another low blow. The referee's not counting it. Opetaia took another knee because another low blow. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but he's probably going to take a point here real soon. Wow, but
So yeah. I just want to put that out there, that I do think that the UFC, the MMA, produces enough money that someone would be there to try. PFL, a person like PFL would be there to pick up that tab and start this thing over again, and maybe give fair shots to these guys to make a real income, at least give them a contract that gives them what they earn. You know what I'm saying? And not just totally robs them.
Yeah, not and the UFC has been like actively fighting in court to make it as like close case shut, that they don't pay these fighters any more than like 18 or 20% of the total revenue, some bullshit number like that. They have been fighting tooth and nail to make sure they keep that, and they've won successfully up until now, or till now at least, because I mean, it hasn't made any changes. But yeah, no, that's crazy. I can't. I'm trying to picture a scenario where they would have to have these three in a room: Tom, Eddie Hearn, and well, I guess Dana, to whatever degree Dana is still involved with the UFC, him being there. Yeah, it's going to be quite strange to see how this plays out.
The first thing they have to do is get a judge to sign off that representation must be in the room. That is kind of a weird loophole they have right now, that Dana White can literally tell a guy he can't bring anyone in the room. That seems illegal as fuck. Like in Hollywood, you can't do that.
I mean, that's like red flag number one predatory shit. Like, what? Come by yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like, I'm gonna come. I'll have my dad bring me. Like, no, you can come by yourself. Like, no, I can't bring my dad.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, you're about to hit the casting couch at that point.
Right. Exactly. We're gonna get one of those kind of videos. Uh, but anyway, that just seems. I wonder, like, who do you, who else? Right off the bat, because Tom Aspinall is English, and now I'm starting to think if they're gonna try to do this with like as many English fighters as they can. I mean, is he gonna try to pull the Don King, like, yeah, us black folks, we gotta fight the fucking white man kind of thing, and get guys to come to him for that? Like, there are other English fighters that fight in the UFC, not as prominent as him, as Aspinall, but there's a few more. Like, I wonder if that's going to be kind of the niche that he's going to go after right now.
If they have, if those English fighters have the same feelings as most of the American ex-UFC fighters, then it'll be easy for him to take all those guys in, because once again, it's about the representation that they're going to have things that they've never had before, right? They're going to have a company that has actually done contracts. They know numbers. You can't bullshit this guy, right? Yeah, all of those big words that you throw in front of these MMA fighters with no one there to explain what's really going on is just words, man. But to Eddie and to his guys, they'll be throwing numbers right back like you're fucking lying. To be honest with you, you're playing in a pond that Eddie and them control, right? I know the UFC's big in MMA, but here in boxing, I think Eddie knows every number that you're telling him.
Well, but it's still technically an MMA playing field, because he's not going to be boxing, at least not in the near future.
No,
right now he's still.
I'm just talking about the contracts,
right? But I mean, would they be able to do anything about it? Regardless, it's like, I may know all this, but if that's the loophole that the UFC works under, shit, there's not much we can do, because that's the loophole that they found.
That's what I mean about their political power. Their powers with the judges and stuff. All of that can get changed. That's what I'm saying. One void in
Matchroom you talking about? Okay.
Yes. And the judges over in the UK. Right? This wouldn't be happening. This wouldn't be filed in America. It's going to be filed over there where they play at, right? He's going to be looking out for his guys. And then trust me, it might trickle down to America if all the British guys, English guys are like, hey, man, they are making moves over here. Dana might have to give us raise. Whatever the case is, we're going really far down this conspiracy thing right now. But I'm saying it's a good move, Miguel, to have Eddie Hearn on your side when you're dealing with a company that's it seems like has taken advantage of fighters the way the UFC has in the years.
Yeah, very true. All right, so we're nine rounds. I don't know. I thought Opetaia was gonna come in and fucking, completely mop the floor with Glanton, but apparently not. He's coming forward, and from what I'm seeing, it looks like Opetaia is winning because he's able to land the cleaner punches. What's his name? Glanton's lip is bloody, and I think his nose is bloody. Opetaia's face is still pretty clean, besides a couple of low blows that he took. But it doesn't seem to be as easy of a fight that Opetaia has experienced as of late. It looks like it's been a little bit harder. But I mean, again, we're only in the 9th round, so we still got only. Shit's already like the second half of the fight.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. All right, so where are we at? Okay. Oh, one of the other ones you wanted to talk about, on the topic of heavyweights. Well, you said it, Andrew. Tyson Fury, his comeback against, if I can pronounce last name is Makhmudov, if I can pronounce that properly, but Arslanbek. Oh, that one's rough. I think that's the first name. That's going to be on April 11th. It's going to take place on the 11th, and it will be in the UK, and it's going to be on Netflix. And the co-main event is going to be Conor Benn and Regis Prograis, maybe the $15 million man in Conor Benn. And then you called it, basically bunch of tomato cans after that, right? Like a bunch of no names. We don't know who else is the names that we saw on this card here. I can't even pronounce. One guy I happen to remember just because I remember Wardley knocking the fuck out of this dude. So I know Fabio Wardley fought this guy in a draw one time, and then the second time he knocked him out. That's the only reason I know this guy. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Dude, Opetaia keeps landing. He maybe got tripped. He got tripped. Fucking hell! I keep seeing him fall, and I'm like, what the fuck? And this time he fell on his back. He wasn't just taking. It's been three times. He falls and he kind of like brings his hands up on the canvas, and I'm like, okay, that looks like a knockdown, but no, the referee just says like get up. So I guess he just tripped. Apparently, just tripped. Fucking hell, distracting the shit out of me. But because it's like, dude, this is gonna go so south, so bad if this doesn't fucking work out the way they wanted to. Oh man,
Oscar will be drunk as fuck tonight.
Right. We should look at his Twitter right now and Instagram to see what he's posting.
He will be.
He's like dancing and shit, like half high and shit. Like I told you it was gonna happen. But you called it, Andrew. Nobody is on this card here. And I mean, I guess when you got to pay the guys at the top, there's only so much left for the guys at the bottom, right? It just trickles all the way down. But yeah, you sent me this. What do you make of this card?
I'm sure I can't talk too much smack about Dana's payouts last night because I'm sure there might be some $16,000 guys on that undercard, bro.
Some 16 and 16. Like here's the show money, here's the win money. If you end up winning,
they're asking sparring partners at that point. You guys want to fight on the undercard?
Yes, I know, right? Exactly. Like, by the way, this was a great sparring session. You guys want to fight on the card? Yeah, sure. Why not? Like, how much you making your last fight? Like $2,000. All right, we'll give you 10. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, this is a different story because they're putting so much more onto the main, the main event and the co-main event that even the UFC doesn't do that frequently. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Conor Benn or however much Tyson is going to get in this fight is most likely more than the whole damn card of last night's UFC card. It's just the way it is. But we can understand why they go in that direction with this one here. But you did call it a few weeks back that if they're going to put this on the same card, chances are the other guys are going to be nobodies.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. That was just funny when it finally came out. I sent it to you right away, like, oh man, they did it to us. Might as well just wake us up when the co-main event starts. It's gonna be one of those nights.
Do you think? I don't know which direction they're going to go with this one here, but considering it's going to be on Netflix and it's going to be for free, at least for the people who already have Netflix subscriptions, would you think that they were going to try to accommodate prime time here in the US and maybe hold the fight? Because I know it's different. Like when they have it live over here, it's like, in the morning. But do you think they might try to like switch it to where like they will have the super late, or I don't even know how that would work, if it'll be morning over there and then night over here. I don't know what the time difference exactly, but I do know that when there are fights over there at their prime time, it's like afternoon over here.
That's right. No, that's a good question too, because I really don't know what Netflix's goal is on that one. Is it to achieve more subscribers out there in the UK, or is it to do here in America? Because here in America, they already have a stronghold on the platform, right? So I would think that I think we're gonna have to watch it early, because I think you want to make this a primetime Super Bowl event for the UK. You want everyone I don't even know if barbecuing is the right word. I don't know what they do out there, but you want everyone getting together and watching this, right? It's
what do they do? They always say it's always cloudy as shit, right? That there's no sun over there. I don't know what the hell they do, but whatever it is that they do.
Yeah. So they want everyone to get together. I think they want this to be their primetime night. So yeah, I'm gonna say we're gonna watch this one early, which is kind of a bummer for us. I forgot all about that time gap thing. But it is what it is. This because they put so much money into it, they should keep it a main event time for the UK.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it'd be kind of weird to like give them the kind of respect and payday that a co-main event and a main event deserves. And it's like, all right, yeah, we're gonna have to fight at 3 a.m. Like, oh, what the fuck? Like, no, the hell, we're to accommodate those motherfuckers, those Yanks over there. Accommodate those Yanks. All right. Well, speaking of Yanks, Jake Paul has come out with some recent news. Apparently, he has signed a multi-year deal, which after some research appears to be 2 years, deal with ESPN and his MVP Promotions. Let me go ahead and bring up this screenshot I got here. Per sources, and the source is Dan Rafael, Most Valuable Promotions, or MVP, and ESPN have agreed on a multi-show broadcasting deal. With their first event, ESPN will be airing being Alicia Baumgardner against Bo Mi Ray Shin. Wow. Her on the 17th of April. All right. So I've seen a lot about this. It seems as though um, Jake Paul is going to go, no pun intended, balls to the wall with women's boxing and is going to showcase them as much as he can, promote them as much as he can on ESPN and most likely ESPN Plus as well. And he's going to start off with, I guess, the most popular one, right? I guess the biggest name, the what was she at? She was at 130 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if this is going to be a different weight class, but she was, I was going to say she was the man at 130. She was the woman at 130. And I'm not sure what the weight class was going to be in this one here specifically, but all right. Coming out already swinging for the fences, MVP and ESPN. We have heard rumblings that ESPN might actually get Top Rank back. So it would be kind of tight to have MVP and Top Rank on ESPN. That would be pretty dope. Andrew, what did you think about this when you first read this?
Very happy.
Sorry, sorry, Opetaia just fucking fell again. God damn it! I don't know what's going on with his legs.
Oh.
I don't know I don't know if it's a low blow or if he's like Glanton keeps like leaning on him. I'm not sure what the fuck it is, but I don't see any sort of point deductions, just harsh warnings. Okay, continue.
You know what? Is this the first time he's fought out of New Zealand?
Oh, I don't know.
It could be.
Let me look that up here.
At least in America, at least in Las Vegas, I don't think he's ever been out here. Maybe it's the weather. He just didn't get used to. He's a little tired right now.
That's a very real possibility. Let me see here. I'm going to his record. New Zealand. Oh, he's fought in Mexico once, very, very long time ago. A super long time ago. What's going on here? Oh shit. Are they okay? Sorry, it was just weird because they kind of were like splitting him up for a second. All right. So he fought in Mexico a super long time ago. Everything else. Oh, he's fought in the UK. All right. He's fought in Riyadh. Probably not anytime soon again. Yeah. It looks like Riyadh, UK, and Mexico, but even the Mexico one was several years ago.
Okay. So yeah, maybe it's just he didn't get used to the time difference or something like that. That is a lot of times hitting the canvas though. 4.
And daylight savings, so we just lost an hour.
Yeah.
Right. So that may have something to do with it. I mean, hell, if not for my phone automatically updating, I would have been late to work. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But as far as them signing with ESPN MVP W, did you catch that?
Oh yes, I thank you for the correction. I did notice that. Yes, MVPW. Yeah.
So I believe it's only his women boxers that are moving over to ESPN, which is huge news for them. You know, that gives them a platform. Look, the Netflix platform is awesome, but you know, maybe Netflix didn't know how to they didn't want to reach out a deal for women yet. They wanted to prove themselves. ESPN is a sports platform that needs a lot more content, right? So you would see them being more interested, more interested in signing that kind of content, right? Because they already have women's sports on. They have softball, they have basketball, soccer when it's around. So I see it. And then 2 years, I'm going to say the risk fits the reward for both parties. For Jake Paul, all of his ladies, the women fighters, they get raises, they get a platform, they get a huge platform on top of that. I mean, some of these fights might come in after a college game, after an NBA basketball game, an NFL game. They're going to get a lot more eyeballs on them than they would if they're not fighting on Netflix and just fighting on DAZN or something like that, So I think it's a good move, and the main reason, risk fits reward for both parties. It wasn't a lot of money for ESPN to sign this whole roster, and for
did it have to come out that way? Like, these guys did not break the bank by any fucking stretch to get these ladies out here.
I didn't mean for it to sound like that. I'm just saying, Miguel, it was a deal that could be made, and everybody's happy. I don't think anyone walked away being mad on this one. For the girls, my advice to them is to be that fighter every dad wants their daughter to be. That's what I would say. That'd be my advice to them. Okay. So that's what's going to attract the casuals to watch you. You stay respectful, right? We like sexy. We like getting prepared for your fights, looking ready. But also, I think when they are that they're a symbol of what you want your daughter to be, is what's going to get you the biggest fan base. So that's my do not do a Clarissa Shields what was her Dijon fucking
Oh yeah,
remake of their weigh-ins. Let's not do that. That's definitely men can get away with that. Sorry, men can women cannot get away with acting like that. So stay away from that one. And Clarissa usually does good, bro. It's
yeah,
usually not Clarissa at all.
yeah. It seemed like it was her people or something, right? It was
Yeah,
like her crew or her entourage that just started throwing shots or pulling. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but
they
things got
attacked the
crazy.
main event. They went after the fighter, bro. It's like you guys are the ones making the money. No, you're
Yeah,
supposed to fight each other.
right. You can wait 24 hours and do it in the ring and get paid for it legally, or just could potentially ruin
No,
everything. And
I'm saying I'm going to tell my entourage you're supposed to fight their fucking entourage. You don't go after the
oh, I
main
see.
event. If
Gotcha,
we're
gotcha.
trying to sell tickets, you guys push each other. What the fuck, man? You don't fucking hit the main event, girl.
the,
Rookies.
the money maker, right? This is why
Yeah,
they can't get away with it, because we know what to do. Right? We know to
Vince,
select the guy.
Vince McMahon will show you how to sell a ticket.
Yeah. Right. I was taking a look at like the roster, considering, I mean, this is a good amount of women on here. Like, I'm not sure how many I've like counted correctly. There's like 30 of them here. They're not all going to be in the same weight class. Obviously, they're going to be in neighboring weight classes. And 30 is a pretty decent number. I mean, I don't know if that's the number. I'm just kind of gauging it off of what I'm seeing on the screenshot here. But there's some recognizable names on here. I mean, some faces, I should say. I recognize who they are, but there's like so few of them in like those weight classes, right? That's kind of the primary issue with really like women's prize fighting, in particular boxing, is just that there's like one that can whoop ass, and there's like not a challenger that can really challenge her in the weight class above her, in the weight class beneath her, in her weight class. So now she has to go to different weight classes. Do you think they're going to experience that a lot with this? It looks like they have a nice amount of women on here, but I have to assume, like, seeing Amanda Serrano on here, who has fought as heavy as I think 140, but as light as like 126. But there's also like I'm trying to think of like some welterweights up here that are even up in the 140s. So I don't know. Do you think he's going to come across that a lot?
Yes, I do think they're gonna have trouble with putting fights together because of the weight differences with some of these girls, and not being able to generate the fights with the huge followings. But Jake Paul might have put himself in a position to get every woman boxer in the world to be calling him in the next few weeks. Just if I'm Jake Paul, I'm taking applications from everyone. I'm trying to find the what is it, the needle in the haystack, right? Just with women, there's a lot of unknown. I believe that there could be some girls out there that are still undefeated, sort of like what Zuffa's doing, right? You seen tonight they brought in a ton. The whole undercard was undefeated, basically,
Right.
all those young men. Now the second fight, the young man only had 14 fights, and they said he retired. I'm tired of Zuffa saying that, Miguel. Will they say? Did you hear Matt?
No,
Andre.
Max. Oh,
Yeah, Andre was like, "Welcome back, young man." So I'm like, "What do you mean, welcome back? He's only had 14 fights. What do you mean, welcome back?" So I don't know what the hell is going on there, but they brought a ton of undefeated guys. So at least there's still undefeated fighters out there, even when you're coming in, starting fresh, brand new. It's not like they were all signed to the other promoters, right?
mm,
I believe that's there for the women fighter. If I'm Jake, I'm searching the world, because you just have to check the boxes to get something going, right, with women, right? Yeah, as long as there's entertainment on that side, they look good, they're camera friendly, they got some skill. You bring them in and you start fighting these girls, and the best will keep winning and the rest will fall away. But as long as you can get something started, I do think he has gotten something definitely started on women's boxing. It's the most impressed. It's the Yeah, is that the right way to say it? I don't even know if I'm talking right at this point, but it's impressive the picture that he has of the women fighters all in that one photo. We've never seen anything like that. There's never been a promoter that I've seen put that much work into the women's side of boxing. So that should be one hell of a Christmas party, huh? All right, I'm gonna stop. Stop.
Oh,
Thank you, damn
like,
dog. You
you're wearing the same dress I'm wearing. No, you got to go change. Let's go box for it. Let's go spar.
His wife's his wife. She might not be happy in a few years.
Yeah. All right. He might be searching the world for another wife. That's what's going to end up happening. It happens, it's like, oh, Christy Martin, we heard the deal. Right? It's like, oh, it's a trainer now. All of a sudden they're fucking married. It's like,
I see what you're doing, motherfucker. You stocked the pond.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you ain't slick, fool. This is yeah, you're gonna trick us into this being a boxing promotion, but this is just a fucking Bachelor episode for us. That's what you're trying to do, motherfucker. You ain't slick. You think you're fucking slick. Do you think this is the part that I was kind of concerned about with something like this, that it'll fall into WNBA territory where there isn't a response. Fan response. Oh, all right. So Opetaia just won. They won a decision with the full 12 rounds. They gave him the IBF belt. He's wearing it there. He's got the Ring Magazine belt. Somebody else gave him the IBF belt. Dana gave him the Ring belt, and of course put the Zuffa belt around his waist. But someone else gave him the IBF belt. It wasn't Zuffa. I'm sorry, it wasn't Dana. So is there? This is my concern, that people are not going to respond to it. We're going to be in a very similar situation as WNBA, where they're year in, year out. I know it's just 2 years, but using the example of them losing money, being subsidized by the WNBA, and women saying, "Yo, pay us more." It's like, yo, you got to bring in more eyeballs. By and large, women don't watch sports, and when they do, it's usually the men, right? It's the NFL, it's the basketball that they watch. When everybody that I know that watches football, obviously there's no female football league, but my point is they watch that, right? The fact that there is a WNBA and the ratings still aren't what they are, the attendance still isn't what it is. Is there a possibility that maybe this falls under that category, and after the two year, what's his name says, okay, fuck it with this. We tried, guys. We couldn't get anybody to respond. Do you think, and not just men, of course, but do you think the women will respond to this and be like, all right, cool, now there's all chicks, fuck yeah, I'll watch boxing now?
Does it have the potential of falling into that category? Of course. Women's sports, they all have that potential of falling into a category of just not enough people are watching, right? One thing women have going for them is their participation numbers have went up big time in the last 20 years. There are more girls playing sports across. Look at the flag football league, dude, and how many girls are playing flag football now. That's kind of entwined with the NFL in a way. The NFL is doing flag football games at the Pro Bowl. They have all these flag football championships going on, and there's girls. It's all co-ed, right? Mm-hmm. You look at college football, they have women playing on college teams. You look at softball, soccer, women have dominated for years. The last 20 years, the women's soccer has won the World Cup 3 times, been there 4, something like that. You know what I mean? Just numbers are rising for us women in general. 119, 106, Opetaia total domination. Thank you, son. That was the report from my son, you guys. All right. So that's so they have opportunity here, right? And Miguel, that's why I talked about they want to be that man's how did I put it? They want to be who every guy wants their daughter to be. That's why I said they need to play that role a little bit too, because it is a lot of guys that are going to be watching. But I've been to a lot of amateur shows now that my son's active. Girls are coming, dude. Girls are coming. There's a lot more women fighters out there now, and like I know it sounds bad, but it's just different. The whole thing has changed because before there used to be a certain type of woman, right?
Sure.
That had to be in
Very, very
boxing.
stereotypical.
Yes, and that has totally went away. You see it in wrestling. You see it especially in dude in wrestling. They have like a whole girl team now. It's not just a guy team anymore. It's like two
Yeah.
teams out there on the mat. You know, it's insane how many girls are wrestling right now. So I see change happening. Maybe Jake Paul and them see it. Everyone inside the industry sees women sports are coming. You know, how far they'll go, who knows? But they're starting to get numbers in there in the girls that are watching. Look at the NFL crowd. Look at how the NFL sells to women now. They have their own jerseys, their own shirts, their own. They never had it. Your wife used to wear your shirt. Your wife used to go to the
Yeah.
mall and buy a men's small. You know what I mean? Now they have their own freaking category or their own section. That's because everyone sees that their numbers are starting to grow as far as watching and participating.
All right. All right. And it looks like we're going to find out how good or how not good or whatever it could be. The first card will be on the 17th of April. There's going to be, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the theater at Madison Square Garden. So that the theater that's on the side of Madison Square Garden, the 17th of April. And it's going to be, let's see here. I want to make sure I'm looking at everything correctly on ESPN or ESPN Plus, most likely as well. So good move for Jake Paul. If I'm gonna quote that dude from the dodgeball movies, like what strategy, very brave strategy. Let's see if it pays out for him. All right, let's see if it pays out for him. Oh, of course, and I guess I didn't already mention it. Yeah, Opetaia won. It looks like it was relatively easy, right? I mean, according to your son, the unofficial official for tonight, Junior came in with this. So yeah, so Opetaia got his belt. All right, so moving on to the next topic. This one is man. I know we're talking about Eddie Hearn and Matchroom talent agencies and Tom Aspinall, but holy hell, we finally hear from Virgil Ortiz Jr. During this whole episode or during this whole fiasco, we've been hearing a lot from Rick Meridian, his manager. We've been hearing quite a bit from Oscar De La Hoya, which we will get to as well because he had plenty to say on the topic. And I didn't like the direction that De La Hoya went, but we'll talk about that here in a second. But we finally hear from Virgil himself, Junior, of course. This is kind of one of the things that I wanted to get to when we were talking about it in previous shows. I was like, well, we're hearing a lot from Meridian, we're hearing some from Oscar, but I don't think we've heard officially from Virgil. But let me go ahead and read what Virgil put on his X account or Twitter. Although the judge didn't see it our way, and the fight is blocked for now, and of course he's talking about the Boots and his fight, my team and I will be moving forward to arbitration, and to the court appeal. My time with Golden Boy is done. I am confident that my right to move on to other opportunities will be upheld. As always, I'm in the gym staying ready. Any 154-pound champion should do the same. It's only a matter of time. Now, it seems as though Oscar got himself another victory in the courtroom, and it appears as though that's not deterring Virgil Ortiz at all or discouraging him at all. He is going to continue to move forward to try to get out of this. Now, this is his contract with Golden Boy. As of right now, I don't know if it's already been clear or said the reason that he wants to get out of this. I don't know what specifically is his issue with Oscar and currently his contract, but he seems hell-bent on getting out of it. Before we talk about Oscar, Andrew, what did you think of this when you first heard of this? Another victory for Oscar in the courtroom. He seems to be 2-0 now. I guess Rick Meridian is no longer undefeated in that sense, but we're finally hearing from Virgil himself.
Yeah, no, they took a loss definitely in the courtroom, and now they're being spoiled brats. Now he's like, fine, give me my ball, I'm going home kind of attitude, right? Oscar did not help himself releasing the video of Virgil Ortiz's dad fighting in the hotel room. that didn't help Oscar at all. I don't know why Oscar released that and then goes, but Virgil, I still want to work with you. It's like, Oscar's no.
I don't want to cut to that already, but the money part, the saying, like, when I sent, and I kind of didn't like that. He sent Eric Gomez, right, to him, and when he had to withdraw from one of the fights, I think Stanley was right, and it's like, and I generously gave you $200,000 still, like, did you forget that? Like, dude, don't fucking throw it in his face, man. Not like, you're not really helping your case. If you're gonna throw it in his face, fine, do it in person, in his face. Don't do it on social media. Don't spill that shit out on social media. It just looks bad. Like, it's not gonna make him change his mind and be like, oh, that's true, after he just smeared him, and then he's gonna be like, all right, cool, let's go ahead and hug it out, and then we'll be cool again. Like, no, I'll be like, damn, fool, really, you had to go that route? That you're gonna let everybody know that video in particular? But anyway, not to take away from what you're saying, but go ahead. Yeah, releasing that video, no.
No, you're absolutely right on both of those. Jed, that was another reason why this isn't going to work anymore. The Oscars should never have then tracked back and said, but I still want to work with you. He shouldn't have done that. If anything, we're going to work together because the courts tell us to, and then you can get the fuck on, right? But don't play I still think you're a great guy after you just dogged him out twice. So I didn't like that part either. But with that being said, I'm a little over Virgil Ortiz's excuses, bro. Like, seriously. Like, we've had fucking weight issues that got him out of big fights. We've had COVID get him out of big fights. And I know I'm not saying like he faked the COVID thing. Not saying that at all. I'm just, remember, in life is a lot about timing, I always say, right? Sure. I think Virgil Ortiz's timing is just off, and maybe it's starting to run out in my head about, does this young man really want it? Because you always got a reason. And this last time, the judge told you not to have a reason, and look what you did. You went and found a reason anyways and still went home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like that second COVID. What was it? The long COVID, he called it. It was some kind of implication because of COVID that he had to pull out of a fight. Am I mistaken when I say that? Wasn't there? Didn't they diagnose him with some long COVID term?
They diagnosed him with something. I don't remember what it was, or whether he called it that exactly. But it was something that wasn't temporary. It's like ongoing even to this day.
Exactly. It came from COVID, though. Correct. It was
Oh, it did. I don't know that part. I don't know.
I believe it came from his first COVID sickness, and they gave him the long COVID. Google this shit. I'm not making that. I don't just grab this out of anywhere. I lose a lot of it, but I don't grab it out of anywhere. It's in Google. You gotta look it up. He had some kind of long COVID something. So I don't know. Have you heard it? Have you heard of that from anyone else? I haven't.
No, I mean,
please say I had the long COVID disease.
No, but it's giving me some ideas to see if I can get out of work or something. Like now I'm like, shit. Hey, yo. I got the LC. I got the long COVID.
I got the long COVID. I got to Google it. I'd be wrong, but whatever. Anyways, he's had many. Then Oscar brings up like 2 other times he fucking pulled out of fights because of weight issues. And like, bro, we're getting into like 5 fights being dropped in this guy's career. Most of those for titles. Like, Virgil, do you really want it? Do you really want it deep down?
Starting to question whether or not he wants it.
I mean, I gave Boo Ennis a fucking hard time with that bullshit of 2 other fights. Like, he comes out here and is like, I don't want to fight Ennis, but everyone else be ready. No, we don't want everyone else, dude.
Yeah.
What? And it seemed like the court said your manager was wrong.
Yeah, and they're not letting it go. Even Rick Merigian on his account is saying, he's like, goes on talking about the documents on how they're still in the right. I'm like, well, didn't the judge just say you weren't? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, granted, this isn't finalized yet, but it's not looking too good. You guys are like, it's like 2 rounds to 0, and like one of those rounds was a 10-8. You're kind of already in the red. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of need to either seriously consider talking to your corner and be like, all right, I guess we should just throw in the towel. We should not keep this going. To kind of briefly touch on Oscar one more time, I kind of don't. I mean, on top of the fact that the stuff that he was throwing at Virgil's face is when he talked about sending Eric Gomez, he didn't go himself. It's like I said, one of my guys go,
Right.
I said, like, remember when I sent him? Like, that's just gonna make things better. Like, fool, fuck him. I wanted you to come, motherfucker. Yeah. Remember, it's like, you and your girlfriend's like, remember how I sent my brother to go pick you up that one time? Like, motherfucker, I needed you to come. You're not my fucking brother. But anyway, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying. We're kind of over this. The constant, like, one reason or another we can't make this fight. Are we? Because what I was trying to get to with what this most recent statement from Virgil was hearing from him directly. I was kind of under the impression that maybe he was kind of stuck in the middle, right? And that's the way even Oscar made it seem, that he's kind of like getting misinformation from one side over here, while Oscar is still trying to show him that he has his best interest in mind. Is I want to hear directly from Virgil. And now that he has the statement, it sounds like he's siding with he's on the side of his fucking manager, huh?
Yeah, he's on the side of money. He got influenced by how many dollars they'll be saving with Oscar out of the picture. You got to think that's a high percentage that's coming back to him, right? Where he gets a significant raise. He's already had enough people say that they don't need Oscar. With Oscar, without Oscar, you're still getting 40%. You're still going to get this, right? He's not thinking about the percentage Oscar was trying to get him. Sure. He's thinking about what Meridian has already sold him, which was probably that 40%, with the winner getting a 5%. In what was it, 50, whatever made it 45, 55, something 60, like that.
60-40 with the winner going to one or
getting
something.
5%, right?
Something along those lines. I forgot what it was exactly, but yeah.
Yeah. So, I think he's already got sold on that, and that's why he wants out now. It's all about the money. It's obviously not about the contract, because his manager got proven wrong on the contract side of it. What I liked about Oscar and his clapback Thursday is the timeline that he gave us, because it does make Ortiz's team look a little suspect. Here in November 2025, we have them with De La Hoya at a fight. The dad gets into the fight. Golden Boy does a really good job of keeping this off the news. I mean, come on, you guys. Me and Miguel do a show every week for the last 10, 11 years. It's I don't remember reporting his dad shirtless in some lobby throwing down with fans. And to be honest with you, when I seen the video, I hella thought the shirtless guy was the fan. Never expected that to be his dad, bro. Like, yeah. Oh, that's such an embarrassing moment. Dad, why is your shirt off? Why are you looking like you're 20 years old in a fucking nightclub? Like, seriously. Anyways, so that looked a little suspect, but great job of Oscar keeping that out of the news. Then the dad
until now, that's that. It's he said he sent people down there to separate him, right? I wonder if that was one of the instructions, like, yeah, make sure to get this on video, like, make sure
if it was or it wasn't, he did a good job of keeping it out. No lawsuit, none of that, right? That's what your promoter's supposed to do, damage control, right? They obviously did damage control on that night. November 2025. Christmas 25. The dad sends a text message to Oscar. Thank you. You've been doing great. I hope you have a great year. It's all love.
Yeah.
If you're mad at your son, you guys got to remember, in a few weeks, they're about to throw a lawsuit at this guy talking about he hated his son. You guys don't know. He never came to visit him. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. But a few weeks earlier, you're showing straight love to him sending him personal messages, thanking him. Weird. That seems kind of weird. Then Ortiz is on fucking video with Riyadh in the ring. So that's a recent interview. I love Oscar. Oscar's done great for me. I can't say a bad word about this guy. He calls me. He gives me this. Praise, bro. Only for in a few fucking weeks to have all of it turn south on him. Come on. Someone got at him about the money. This is all about money. It always comes down to greed, man. And unfortunately, Oscar did the same. So Oscar can't be too, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. He did it to Bob. Floyd did it to Bob. You can say Bob did it to them in the way they write the contracts up in the beginning, right? Everyone's getting over on somebody. So, it all plays itself out. But I liked Oscar's timeline. I was with Oscar in the very beginning. And now I'm starting to question Ortiz's heart about really becoming a main player in this sport.
So it's because I guess that would mean that it's about two things. It's about the money and it's about not fighting the top dudes. I wouldn't have. I can see the money part. I can see why he wants to cut Oscar out of the deal so he can get a larger amount. And at this point, probably feels he doesn't need him, right? He thinks as long as I got Turkey on my back, on my side, I mean, then I don't necessarily need Oscar. But as far as like not wanting to fight the best, I'm not sure if that's him. I that part, I still, maybe I'm just stubborn, but I still believe that he does want to fight those top dudes.
What's
He
his
just doesn't
biggest
want to
fight?
do it. Huh?
What's his biggest fight?
His biggest potential fight? Well, Boots.
No. What's his biggest fight? What is the biggest?
Oh, that he's already had.
Yeah.
Shit, Matchroom.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, this dude's been here a while, man. We criticize Tank and all them. Miguel, let me tell you this. If you have 5 girlfriends, is it still the girl's fault why you keep breaking up?
No. At some point, it's you.
At some point, you got to start looking at the guy.
Yeah.
This dude has had 5 dates canceled, 5 got to redo this, got to pull out, got a little issue. Virgil and the issues. I'm just saying, man, it's Virgil and the fucking issues is becoming his storyline in this sport. When is it going to be you're in the big fight? I don't know. It could be timing, it could be bad luck, but I'm just saying, if it was my friend, I'd be like, bro, you've had a lot of breakups, man. You need to start looking in the mirror.
Yeah, and because I was trying to sort of connect the dots and try to figure out like what is it? Why does he try to split from Oscar? Like why now? I mean, like money has to be it, right? That's the only reason. I'm still of the opinion that it's not fighting the guys because I mean, shit, I'm not even sure who the fuck to believe at this point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Oscar came with receipts. So you kind of, there's only so much you can do to not believe him because when he's showing you the text, when there are interviews out there as early as like December, with Oscar or with Virgil saying that things are going well with him, and then this, it's like you don't know which is the real Virgil at this point, right? You don't know which one of these is the real dude.
And we kind of left it in the hands of the judge, and the judge made her decision. And now we're not, we can't still say, I wonder what it is. Like, that's what we brought the judge in for. She's non-biased, right? She's just coming in, looking at a contract, looking at wherever they were at negotiations, and she's going to determine if Oscar's doing a fair job for his fighter or not. And her verdict came down, and yet here we go. We're grabbing our ball and we're running home. I hate those kids. The whole neighborhood hates those kids. We all know this, Miguel.
Yeah, it makes you not want to play with them anymore, like ever again. Like, no, he comes back like, okay, I'm sorry, guys. Like, no, fuck this. Oh, wait, lower your voice. It was cutting out.
Sorry. You know what I'm saying, though, when he keeps calling fouls that weren't fouls, and then he says, "Give me my ball," you don't want to play with that fucking kid anymore.
No, yeah. Why do you think? Well, I mean, damn it, because you mentioned you didn't like that part of Oscar saying like, but we could still kind of work this out, kind of thing, right? Like, why not? Why don't you like that? Like, if Oscar really the only reason he has to play ball is because the contracts are already written and the judge said these are going to be in place, why not try to at least not be the way he was with fucking Ryan or something, like constantly at each other's throats or bickering or something like that, right? Like, can't we all just get along? Like, isn't that reconcilable at this point?
I think I would have went with your route, as made that phone call and said, "Hey, don't you remember when I protected your father being obnoxious in that hotel room last November? And don't you remember when I gave you the $200,000 that you were asking me to let you?" I would have done that on a private phone call and then said, "Virgil, I promise you, if we can't work this out, this stuff will come out. Then when it comes out, we are now enemies." And I'm not telling him that. I'm talking to you.
Sure.
But when I do release these tapes, Miguel, there is no patching up probably our relationship, right? Your dad's about to look really bad, and then I'm about to say you guys were broke and basically needed me to give you a fucking handout to make it. So that's how I would have told him off the record. Like, I don't want to go this route. I want to be your friend. I want to be your promoter. I've done everything I could to make. The judge is telling me that I'm doing my job correctly. I don't know why you guys are doing this to me, but if you go a step further, I am going to release this information. Yeah.
A step further, what would that be? Because now that just sounds like blackmail. Like, yo,
No,
don't do this shit, or I'm gonna let people know. You know,
because Miguel, with him releasing those videos and him releasing that information, he made it unrepairable. So why are you going back on your? Why are you going like shove the dude and go? But I really don't want to fight. You already fucking shoved him, bro. Like you're lucky he didn't pop back, right? As soon as you touched him. So don't go there and then say you want to be friends again. You say that first. You say, look, dude, I want to be your friend. But if I'm not going to be your friend, I'm also not going to look like the promoter that doesn't care about his fighter. I've saved your father when he should have been arrested. He should have been sued. And I gave you $200,000 when you kept walking you twice. You backed out the week of. 2 other times you did a miss weigh-in. And now we have this debacle. Like, bro, when do I have to defend myself? No, I'm going to release the video and I'm going to release the information, not blackmail at all. This is all facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to protect you and your dad, right? Because I'm your promoter. That's what I'm supposed to do. If I'm not your promoter, well, then I got to let the people know why we don't have a understanding with each other anymore. So that's how Oscar should have played it.
And as I understand it, I think his contract is gonna. I don't know how many fights, but the contract is supposed to be up in 2027. We're barely entering 2026, so I certainly hope this doesn't drag to the point where we don't, where where Virgil is out of the ring for too long. Even though Oscar did say it in his clapback, like this can take a long time. And I think he's like 27. Is it? What's his name? Virgil. It shouldn't. We hope that it won't get to that point where he loses years of his prime in this legal battle, and then only to fucking maybe lose or something like that. And it's like shit. You still gotta go back and see this motherfucker in his face. I mean, you're right. It's irreparable at this point. It's not like things are gonna get any better. But I just figured. I can understand to some degree Oscar's side of like saying like, hey, we can still kind of, at the very least we can be amicable while we fucking, we have already broken up, but we still live in this fucking apartment. So we have to at least be nice to each other for the remaining part of the lease kind of sort of thing.
Yeah. I just don't know about the releasing of the dad footage. It wasn't good footage.
Yeah, that was bad. When I saw it, it's like, yo, bro, really? Like, whatever ace he had, he just fucking like, bam, 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 right off the bat, right? Like, yo, hold on, And here's the thing.
Saying he acted like a girl, went straight low blow.
Yeah.
Like, damn, I just told you to shut up. Why is my mom a bitch? What the fuck?
That's why you're just like your dad. Like, what the fuck? Like, take it easy, yo, shit. I was just telling you your spaghetti wasn't great. Jeez, you gotta be all pissed off about it. Has Virgil said anything bad about Oscar, like publicly at least? Like, has besides those interviews where he's obviously saying good things about him, but like the only person who's doing the bad mouthing, I guess, is Oscar. Well, I guess sort of his dad to some degree too. Virgil's dad a little bit, but not directly from Virgil, right? Like bad mouthing Oscar.
What's that?
I don't think I've heard Virgil bad mouthing Oscar. I've heard his pops say that, and the trash talk has come from his pops. I get it, and from Oscar, but it's Oscar specifically. Like that's the part that I'm like, yo, why did you have to go there when? Yes, they're in this legal battle, but at no point has, if I remember, that Virgil's come out and be like, man, that motherfucker always high as shit with his fucking bitch ass, yada yada yada. Like, I don't remember him saying any of that. It was Oscar that like went to the jugular right off the bat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and sorry, but I was thinking about my sister. My sister used to be that way. You had to watch what you argued about with her, because she would take anything dirt that she had, she'd take right to my mom, bro. Detention, suspension. You thought you got away with it? Hell no, you didn't. Not while you were in her.
You can't trust nobody. Yeah, trust anybody.
She opened the door. Detention in there. Fuck, Sonia, what the fuck?
But did he tell you that he got fucking suspended? Like,
I just said I wouldn't dry the dishes yet. Damn it.
I said I'll take the trash out later. Fuck.
But no, dude. I have not heard Virgil talk bad about Oscar. That's why I don't think this is. I think Oscar. He was fed up, right? I mean, what more can you do to prove that you weren't doing anything wrong, and they still don't want to play ball with you? They still don't want to work with you. I guess I'll get off that ball thing. And so maybe he was just fed up. Like, you know what? Fuck these guys. And unfortunately, Virgil might be a good guy, but you got the wrong people in your ear, and that brings a fuck you to you too. That's how you got to play that one. Because he's obviously not smart enough to take the advice of the courts, right? The courts are saying that Oscar has your best interest, dude. So why don't you just move forward with the fight? It's either you're greedy for the money, or maybe you just don't want the boots in his fight.
That was going to be my last question to you. Like, do you think we're going to get that fight before the end of the year? Do you
Fuck
think
no.
No, 2026 at all? I mean, at all.
Bro, it's looking right now. Dude, I'm telling you right now. Watch it. Oscar's going to keep it in the courts. Why not?
Jeez.
Why not? If the end game is we have to work a deal where you leave me anyways, fuck that. Let's stall. Fuck it. Why do you think half of these?
That's money out of his pocket too, though, right? Out of Oscar's.
That's money out of his pocket anyways. The kid's leaving him.
All right, that's what you think.
Right? And in the arbitration, they're going to have to work out some deal. It's going to be like isn't it like he might get a buyout if he does get out of his last fight? He's still going to have to give Oscar money. He won't just get to walk. It's a buyout. So, Oscar's probably like, you're going to pay my court fees anyways. Dumbass. I need my dumbass button. I'm telling you, I love that one. But yeah, no, dude. Oscar, he's not losing any sleep. It's going to be Virgil who's losing sleep, because every day that passes, you're getting older, man. And dude, we heard some good names. Mikey Garcia fucked up his career doing this, and so did Andre Ward, unfortunately. And then Andre, he kind of did me wrong again this week with that little Gerald McLennan video he put out there, a message to the fight fans or whatever the fuck that was. Did you see that shit about the Gerald McLennan fight?
Yeah, you sent it to me, yeah.
All right, good. What was up with that, Miguel? What was up with him asking us to donate money to Gerald McLennan? Do you know what belt Gerald McLennan fought for in 1995 against Nigel Benn? Do you know what belt that was for?
WBO?
Nope.
No.
WBC super middleweight title. The WBC super middle. Why is that relevant, Andre? Because didn't you just about a month ago go on a fucking rant about how fighters shouldn't donate or pay their sanctioning fees to that one WBC super middleweight championship fight that took place? Wasn't that you who fucking said Terrence Crawford why should he pay? What did they do? But then only a few weeks later, you asked the blue collar man, the average person, to donate off of their fucking dinner table to give to Gerald McLennan, who I love. Don't get it twisted. We all should donate. But how dare you tell Terrence Crawford not to give 0.6% of a $50 million fucking check? $50 million, Miguel. Do you know how much Terrence Crawford made in the fight before that one? I'll help you out. 2.5 fucking million, Miguel. 2.5. So, Andre, what did the WBC belt do for Terrence there? Upwards of 48 million? Or you want 47.8 million, motherfucker? I probably still got my math wrong, but it sounded good.
It did sound good. We get the point. The point is made.
You guys pull the calculator. Fuck that. But you guys tell me, how could he do this to us? How could he? Andre, he's been hitting me bad. I don't like that Andre Zuffa guy. I really don't. But how dare you ask us to donate when you're telling a man who made 50 million, don't give 300 grand to the same belt? And now look, if I'm Suleiman, Jose, right? No, Mauricio. If I'm Mauricio, I absolutely jump all over this and pull out receipts about how much you've helped Gerald McLennan. If you have helped Gerald McLennan at all, which I know they have, it's been well documented that the WBC gives him money every year. You got to start pulling these receipts, dude. Start throwing it in these guys' faces. Like, how dare you say, we're not doing anything? Look what I've done for him. Look what I done. Pritchard Colon, I think, was fighting for a smaller WBC belt,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. Fucking show these receipts, man. And then tell Andre, why are you asking people to donate, but you're telling your own guys, oh, shit. What did they do to deserve that? What did they do to deserve that? It's what Gerald McLennan did to deserve that, you fucktard. How about that one? Why don't you go look in the mirror and tell yourself that? Don't think of the 3% going to the Suleimans or whoever else owns a belt. Think of it going to Gerald McLennan. You'll probably feel better about yourself when you sign that check over. And fucking miss me with the what did the belts do for me? When a guy made $2 million in one fight, moves up a weight division, fights for a belt, and makes 50. Please do not try to tell me that belt did nothing for that. It's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. I love Andre, but he's been fucking rubbing me. Damn, I gotta change the way I talk. He's been getting in my feelings lately.
Yeah, he's kind of getting on your bad side.
Yeah, he came on my bad side. There you go. You see that one? There's another joke out there that said guys in the 90s, they need to learn how to talk better. Guys, I'm gonna bust on you, and all the kids are all, hey, whoa. It's like, man, shut the fuck. That used to be fucking, you know how we used to talk. Now you can't say I'm gonna bust on anybody.
Yeah, you ever remember anybody we used to say up the ass all the time? Like, dude, I'm tired of up the ass, right? It's like that shit. Like, yeah, I don't think we should be saying that.
Yeah. Now you just think about everything you say. Shit.
Right. You have to pay more careful attention to how the words come out. But good point though. I get what you're saying about those fucking belts meaning something. And Andre and his cockamamie shit. Where was I? Oh yeah. So anyway, anything else we want to add to this Virgil and Oscar saga before we move on to what I guess might be the last topic here?
Nope.
All right, cool. You were kind of cutting out there for a second. So there was a lot of stuff going on, right? And this is kind of sort of MMA related, but it's kind of sort of also boxing related. We've talked about Francis Ngannou quite a bit because of his fights, right, in the boxing world. To his both of his losses, one a decision to Tyson Fury, and then a knockout loss to Anthony Joshua. Apparently he's split ways with the PFL, which was the MMA organization that he had signed with. When he signed with the PFL, he got a pretty killer-ass deal. He got a lot of money. They gave him the opportunity to go box and make more money there. Hell, he even went as far as to put a clause in his contract that said all the guys who challenge me for the belt get X amount of dollars. And it was a nice fucking chunk of change. And they're like, oh shit, fuck yeah, we'll do it. Well, one fight, he becomes the PFL heavyweight champion, and then and that's it. And then just ghosts, basically. Now, he has experienced some difficult time in his life. I believe the passing of one of his sons. I don't know if it's his only son, but this happened some time ago. So he's going through quite a bit, right? And hasn't returned to the cage or the ring, quite frankly. And now he's officially split ways with the PFL. And when I saw this, and I was like, wow, I wonder like what this means. Like, you know, his whatever contract he had with them just goes up in flames, you know, nothing major. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up here. In a shocking move, the PFL has released its biggest star, former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, less than 3 years after he joined the promotion and just one fight with the company. Now, literally moments later, you replied to me, boxing for Matchroom, probably. And I thought, you know what? Probably. He can land on a lot of different spots. I've heard maybe on the undercard of the Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano fight with that one.
Yeah.
Of course, these are people's speculating. They're like, at this point, he's out and about, right? And even when you mentioned, you know, maybe going to Matchroom, I was like, well, fuck, maybe, yeah, because at this point he's kind of out there, right? I don't think he's going to be able to mend his relationship with the UFC and make it back there. Maybe him and Alex Pereira or something like that, right? That would be pretty dope. I don't think they're going to go that direction. I'm pretty sure he's done with the UFC at this point, especially after dealing with them for as long as he has and the way he exited the company. But it's kind of crazy that this happened here. And although, again, this is slightly more MMA related, but it may very well mean that he's going to pop up on a boxing card at some point here in the near future. Because after what he did, making the money that he did make with Tyson and Anthony Joshua, I wouldn't be surprised if he lands on one of these boxing cards. Anyway, when you saw this, Andrew, you sent that to me immediately. You're like, well, maybe Matchroom. That sounds pretty logical, huh? Were you shocked when you saw this? I mean, I know it's been a while since he's been in the public eye, but were you shocked that it's like, well, there goes his MMA career, pretty much?
I was and I wasn't, because of the state of the MMA world. Besides the UFC, it seems like they were unstable since COVID.
Mm.
So this is just another MMA platform going down. It's releasing its biggest star does not mean it's going out of business, because they probably have a lot of other guys they can afford to pay to keep their doors open. What the MMA is showing me is they don't have a market for these big price fighters anymore. The Conor McGregors, the John Jones, the Ngannous. All of these men have made $20 million paydays crossing over. John Jones basically just getting it out of the desire, his own ego. Has he ever been paid 20 million, or is he just demanding this type of money now?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't think he has.
Okay.
I don't believe so. There has been a time where he's asked for like 30 or 50 or something like that, but that might mean that he did at one point, but I doubt it. I mean he was what he was, but and then even then, there's only so much information that the UFC releases as far as the fighters' pay goes. So I don't know, but I don't believe so.
The more that I read into UFC, the chat rooms, the more I dig, the more it seems money related on why some of their bigger names do not come back to the sport. It's always money related. I have to put John Jones in that same category because his name has been brought up many times, and that's why he cannot get a fight with the UFC. They can't come to an agreement. I'm hearing that's what happened with the White House card again. Now, we heard Dana White put him straight under the bus and go, no, the guy's injured, he's done, he needs hips, he fucking can't run, yada yada yada. But then you hear Ariel
Helwani.
I'll remember it one day.
And he just called Ariel. There's only one guy named Ariel, so everybody knows who it is.
No doubt. And then some other guys just come out and say that it's financial. It was financial why they couldn't agree with him. I think the same thing happened with the Ngannou, dude. Ngannou fighting for the PFL. I mean, dude is making 20 million fighting in 2 boxing matches a piece. He's not going to go back to making fucking $5 million, $8 million. In my eyes, I don't think he is. I would rather hang out and go see if I could do a fight with Jake Paul. Go see if I could do a fight with make a boxing run. Look, I think that's where Conor McGregor fucked up. I think that's where the UFC fucked up, not crossing over into boxing with McGregor when he did so good against Floyd. Why didn't they try to build him just a little career? Give him a bunch of showcase fights that he could win and then put him in with someone big. Same thing could happen with Ngannou, right? They could put him in with a bunch of Chris Martins. Was that his name? Who's the kid that fought
Charles Martin?
Charles Martin, excuse me. Get a bunch of Charles Martins, get out of the friggin' whatever slums they come. Shit, Zuffa seems to have guys that are retired. You know what I mean? Reach out to them and see how many of those guys you can find. Get him 6 wins, and then that's 6 paychecks of him making decent money. And then try to get him a big fight again and cash him out. Definitely, there is an avenue in boxing for everyone right now because there's so many platforms. Dude, Miguel, I'm telling you, I don't know. I've watched 3 or 4 of these Zuffa things. I see some of these MMA guys being able to cross over and perform in that Zuffa category. Why wouldn't you sign up for that? If you're,
I'm kind of surprised they haven't already done that. Like, I know. Do you think they're going to be maybe like waiting for like whenever they, because every card up until now, or every card till to date, has been at that meta apex. So when the time comes for them to have a fucking event outside of the apex in an actual arena somewhere, I wouldn't be surprised if they were gonna do that. Because I mean, everybody from Dustin Poirier to I can't remember who else, Michael Chandler even, I think, is interested in this, right? So obviously, like, there's an opportunity to do that as long as Dana allows it, the crossover. But I maybe that's what they're waiting for when the time comes for there to be a bigger event to get more eyeballs. They'll throw in some recognizable MMA names.
Yeah, I have been thinking it's gonna put a split between Dana and the UFC. And I've been thinking that Dana's waiting for himself to get more and more away, because when it happens, he's going to piss some people off. He's going to get phone calls in the middle of the night. Like, what the fuck's going on? Why did 3 of our guys sign with Zuffa Boxing yesterday? Right?
Mm.
When are they going to fight in the UFC? Well, no, we have to work out the schedule. And, hey, people are going to be mad. You know what I'm saying? So, and we kind of see the separation happening already. I've seen a lot of changes in that UFC with Dana White not being around, Dana White coming out saying he's not involved anymore, even though it was weird how he said he put together that UFC card. I was like, hey, Dana, you're just under oath saying you don't do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somebody caught that. It's all over online. Like, yo, you just totally fucking torpedoed what the fuck you said, homie.
Yeah. Under oath, dude. Mm-hmm. Yep. No. All right. So that was out there. Yeah, I caught that one too. Did you catch the guy's penis falling?
Is what? What?
The guy went and squatted and moved his trunks, and his little thingy fell out last night. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
That's floating around the internet. Oh, what that dude was
on the UFC card?
Yeah.
What the shit? No, I didn't.
It was a guy in the blue trunks saying, I don't know. I think I might have sent it to you. I was like, what the fuck just happened? He did the Janet Jackson, but with his penis.
I did not see that at all. No, I mean,
it looks like a nipple slip.
Yeah, it's like it was just a tip. It was just a tip.
Nipple.
Yeah, it's the end part. If you wouldn't have known to look there, you wouldn't know what it was.
Yeah, no, and see it live. Let's put that. See it live. It came in a reel. Someone was all, "What the fuck did I just watch?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" Yeah, it's like, "Oh my god, why hasn't he got a cup on her? The hell's going on?" I guess they don't have to wear cups in the MMA.
Yeah, of course they do. They just, I mean, I don't know what. Yeah, of course. Everybody wears a fucking cup. I mean, they have to wear a cup.
How the fuck they?
Well, it could be that they move it. I mean, it could very well. I mean, I have to assume that's what it is, because sometimes the cup isn't like, it's not like a boxing cup, obviously, right? It's just basically like a you would wear in baseball or something like that. It's kind of one of those things, right? So it's like the cup and then the strap is elastic or whatever, and sometimes you slip the cup in, and it's I don't know. It sort of depends on the size. Sometimes it's not as like deep or something like that. I suspect, because I've had my fair share of fucking having to wear different kinds of cups and shit like that, like metal ones and plastic ones and all this shit when I grapple. So it's a pain in the ass. So I'm not gonna say it's not, but
yeah,
I didn't see any of that.
That would be uncomfortable. But yeah, that happened. But whatever. So yeah, that's where I think the separation is starting. I know they're all under the same umbrella, but look, you guys, I've been telling you for a while, and I'm gonna stick with it. I think Zuffa is on board with the transition. I think Zuffa is not. They're not worried about the backlash they're going to get from the UFC, because they might have peaked in the MMA. The whole MMA thing might have peaked. It might have. When you look at the whole sport as a whole, I mean, we're talking about a lot of down in numbers, down in live gate, down in viewership. So down in
superstars, down in American stars.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so maybe the Zuffa is seeing all that. They're behind closed doors going, look, this is what I see in the next 5 years. We might want to invest our $7 billion into something else, right? Instead of giving all these guys raises, none of them become household names, and then they just took our money and we're left with nothing, right? So that's what I see happening there. When that time happens, when the UFC fighter finally says, you know what, we've been fucked, haven't we? Yeah, we've been fucked. And they start doing their backlash, I think that's when you're going to see Dana maybe call some of their higher guys and go, hey, you want to come over to Zuffa Boxing? And that'll be that.
Yeah, that's a very real possibility, because that's I think, and look, this is the way it is with a lot of other things, right? There's just going to be peaks and valleys in popularity. Maybe that boom period, that golden age is over, right? There's a possibility it'll happen again, but it sort of depends how it goes at this point. It happens even with pro wrestling, even.
You need a blonde hair, blue-eyed Ken from Street Fighter 2. That's who you need. You need a total MMA, karate, been fucking black belt from when he was little. No, nothing else but straight MMA guy. But he's American. And your numbers will go through the roof. I promise you. Hey, there was a guy named Northcutt. Now, I don't know if he was American.
Oh, Sage Northcutt. Yeah, he was American. Yeah.
He was American. Dude, they dropped the ball on that dude.
Well, dude, he dropped the ball himself. That's like the biggest what ifs out there. That one fucking punch fucked his face up. Nasty. So yeah, I think to some degree they were trying to do that with Paddy Pimblett, even though he's not American, he's English. I mean, the dude was like as close to the blonde.
He's not this kid.
No, he's not. He wasn't this kid.
That's what I'm talking about when I say Street Fighter. Remember Guile? Remember Guile?
Yeah, for sure.
And his kick,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
Really for, and I was like, what the fuck? What happened to this guy? Fought Muay Thai box. I said, oh fuck. Crushed his face in one round. Oh fuck.
Yeah, he got it. It was bad. He was like, once people got the impression that he was just like a possible dud and not the next superstar, he got traded. Basically, it's like unprecedented. They fucking traded him with somebody with ONE FC, which is a Japanese organization. They sent his ass over there. They gave him one of the guys, which doesn't ever really happen, but they traded him anyway. Point is, then it went downhill after that. Yeah, the guy.
No, that's who they need. It's just like in boxing, we need a Sugar Ray Leonard, we need an Oscar De La Hoya, right? The American flag draped gold medal winning Olympian. We all need our guys, right? Our characters. That the UFC, you are absolutely right. They can make this thing turn around, but they need to go out and search for the Americans that are going to turn these TV ratings over. Because right now Right now, it's not happening, dude. Yeah. Right now, it's not happening. And right now, I have to tell you, Miguel, I've changed my opinion on the whole let's do the big fight. Someone challenged me to $100 bet, too, on the fight rate. Yeah, I think John Jones would take Fury out. I'll bet you 100. I said, easy money. I'll take that. But whatever. But, you know, with John Jones being so far out of it and the heavyweight division not being what it was in the past for the UFC, I think the fight is gone, dude. There's no one there to make this. Like the names you gave last week, Crow Cop, Emelianenko, what was the other? What's his last name? Crow Cop and the big dude, the big heavyweight that everyone wanted to see everyone fight. White dude.
Oh, Brock.
No. The foreigners. You named them both yesterday. Or last week. Mir Crow Cop.
Crow Cop. Fedor. You said Fedor.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Emelianenko. Those two guys, they don't have anyone like that, right? They don't have a Chuck Liddell. They don't have the fight's gone, bro. The fight's gone, and I don't want to do it with just anyone. It needed to be the best versus the best. It needed to be Anderson Silva versus fucking Roy Jones Jr. You know what I'm saying? At that time, those were two of the biggest names in the sport. That should have happened. Tyson, Coleman, Klitschko, fucking whoever you had at the heavyweight champ.
It was Couture. Fedor? No, Randy Couture.
Randy Couture. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it might be over. It really might be over for the.
I don't know. I'm thinking, and this is kind of like a going down a rabbit hole. So Aspinall is out because of his eye, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna have Pereira move up to heavyweight. He's gonna fight Cyril Gahn, the guy who last fought for the belt against John Jones. And they're gonna fight for the interim belt at some point. And I suspect Pereira's gonna win, right? He's the guy that's got that left hook. Aspinall's gonna come back. I don't know who's going to win between that, but the winner of those guys is going to end up fighting Jones, and I suspect Jones is going to come back and take the belt off of whoever's on.
Even with what?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been. Nah, dude, Dana has. He's got such a hard on for John Jones, yo. He's got such a hard on for John Jones. He's just like the Conor, but he gives him so many breaks. When he comes back and he plays nice, he won't be asking him for no fucking $20 million. Mind you, he might fucking go something else, and then they'll start talking. But the second John Jones gives in, because I mean, John Jones isn't exactly. I don't know. He spends like Floyd. I don't think he does, but he has his vices outside of the ring. So there's gonna be a point where he's gonna need some money. He's like, all right, fine, we'll do 10 million or whatever the fuck, right? And then he'll do it. But He'll be back. He'll be back. It wouldn't be for obviously the White House card because he's so unfucking reliable. But it's gonna happen. He's gonna come back and face one of those guys. I'm almost seeing it. I'm almost seeing it.
Well, maybe at that time we'll bring it back around. But as of right now, I don't think the fight's there to be made. I don't think there's enough money in the pot anymore. It's definitely not coming from the MMA side. I don't see them having a champion. Because look, Miguel, the tickets in boxing front row for a Floyd fight, for a Canelo fight, are already what, 14? We'll say 12 to 20 grand, depending on who the opponent is. For a fight like that to get made, I was thinking these tickets are going to be $50,000 to $100,000, bro. I'm dead serious. Like, that's what I was expecting front row to be for the night the UFC and the boxing world finally brought two heavyweight champions in the same place. They can't demand that with anything right now that's in the UFC. I don't think these guys are bringing that. So even last night, Dana reported 19,000 tickets sold, 8 million at the gate. You know, it's like that's not moving the needle when you're talking about making a fight like a Canelo or Floyd kind of live gate. So
no, it's up there though. It's up there. It's not that kind of money because it's not that.
Bro.
No. I know. I realize that. I mean, it wasn't exactly Allegiant Stadium either with more seats, even though they probably wouldn't have filled it up anyway.
Well,
but
he said 19,000 though. It was a sellout.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, Allegiant Stadium's got way more than that.
I get what you're saying. They made 40 because it's Allegiant.
Because there were more seats. Fuck yeah. And I don't know how much they priced it out, but yeah, more seats.
I got what you're saying on that one. Yes, sir. I thought it was T-Mobile. I thought they did it at the T-Mobile. You're right. It was Allegiant.
Yeah, and I kind of forgot that this fight was the T-Mobile too. The from the UFC from last night too. I was looking it up because I got my calendar right. I'm like filling out my calendar so we can do the year in review next time. And I was like, oh shit, it's the fucking T-Mobile. Damn, I didn't even realize it was fucking here.
Real fast, I'm going to give you some to you. Jake Paul versus the UFC champion, Eli. How do you say his name?
Ilia Topuria.
Ilia Topuria. Is that a loophole that Jake Paul's MVP promotions have found to get their guys a fight without being the UFC tied? Because how is it they're announcing this, dude?
No. They're not announcing it because Topuria is going to fight on the White House card.
I understand that.
So they're saying happening. This is literally just like, oh shit, wouldn't it be cool if we can do this kind of thing? Because I mean, I looked at the post and I get it, but it's like, no, they're not. There's no fucking way Dana's going to allow that. Hell, fucking no. There ain't no loophole. I think Dana and the UFC are like the king of loopholes. I think they would have fucking seen something like that.
That's gonna be interesting if that happens, though.
Dude, the guy's 155 pounds. You think the guy?
He's not even the same size.
He's tiny, yo. No, and he just moved up. Once I just moved up, but he used to fight at 145, and then like 2 fights ago, which is maybe like a year now, but moved up to 155 where he's at right now. He wanted Canelo. This dude was like talking about all this fucking Canelo shit. It's like, yo, motherfucker, relax. But that's the closest as far as weight goes. It was Canelo, but no, Jake Paul. Come on, that dude's 155 pounds.
Yeah, no, I didn't know he was that small. And Jake is going back to his old tricks, huh? Getting smaller. Yeah. He learned his lesson.
Picking on the smaller ones. He can't reach his jaw.
Gerald Miller, did you see that one?
Oh yeah, talking about not Zuffa. He's like, what the fuck? I'm getting paid. I got paid more in my last fucking loss than how much I would make in however many fights with Zuffa.
Just gave us a little bit of insight on their, know, how much of a spike these guys are taking if they do sign with them. So that is what we were talking about. The Miller is still top 10. I find it very hard. You're going to take a 30 to 40% cut in your pay to go fucking fight for that belt and not be promised the sort of payouts that could happen in regular boxing. You know what I mean? So that was a good insight that I liked that Miller came out and told us that this week. And then that was it. The other scene from last week, I don't know if we talked about Lamont Roach, William Cepeda.
Oh, yeah, possibility. Yeah.
Badass fight, dude. I like that fight a lot.
Yeah, but that would mean that Lamont's going to move back to 135. I'm not sure that's going to help him much. If they're gonna do that at 135 for what's his name's belt, because he did move up to 140 to fight Pitbull. I don't know. He even thought about moving even higher than that, but having to move back down, because he was at 130, moved up to 135 to fight Gervonta. I'm talking about Lamont, and then moved up to 140 to fight Pitbull. Now it's going to move back down to 135 if they make this fight happen, because it is for the belt that what's his name dropped, that Shakur dropped at 135. So,
and maybe he didn't like his fight at 140. You know, it was only one fight. Yeah. But I like it on paper. It's a good fight.
Oh yeah. When I noticed that, and I told my pops too, and he's like, "Oh fuck," because my dad is totally on the fucking Cepeda hype train. So he's like, "Fuck yeah!" Like put him in there with anybody. Give him fucking Gervonta. Give him anybody. Right? I was like, "All right, relax, Dad." So when he saw this, he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." Like, yeah. I hope they make it happen. All right. Well, I think.
I got another one.
Shit. Okay, go ahead. I think I got. Go ahead.
The Zone announced negotiations for Eubank Berlanga. I like that fight.
All right.
Yeah, that's not a bad comeback for both guys, man. Okay, that's all I had, dude.
Oh, this one was just a one that popped up. I guess I didn't realize this was on a different card. MVP's first MVPW on what is it, the ESPN, right, with Elisa Baumgardner. That's going to be the first card on the 17th of April. Apparently the next one is May 30th with Stephanie Hahn and Holly Holm, the rematch. They fought once before, right? And what happened? Was that a draw? I don't even remember how the fuck that fight, because they're having a rematch, so I don't remember what the fuck happened.
I think Holmes lost. I want to say, was that her comeback fight where she loses?
Oh man,
yeah, because
I thought she had one before. Maybe you're right. I don't remember. I thought she had one before, but I don't remember.
Or maybe when I say comeback fighter, might have been her first fight under MVP, and she loses right away. Yeah, so I think it's a rematch to that one.
Oh my.
Yeah, we're either gonna find out she's too old or that was just a bad night.
Yeah, well, she's in her 40s now, right? So
I know.
But anyway, I didn't know that was going to be on a separate card. So May 30th, there's a second MVPW card.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought that looked better when they were fighting on the same card. Because the undercards you got to bring something than just one fight. You know what I mean? That's a hard sell, dude.
Yeah, and that one's going to be in El Paso, Texas. All right. I wonder if that's where Stephanie Hahn is from, but
ain't that where Holly's from?
No, Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. All right. That was close.
Yeah, close enough, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is going to do it for us on this Sunday evening. I don't foresee any delays at anything or anything like that on for this Wednesday show. Chances are we're gonna get recording on Wednesday, so there shouldn't be any problems. We will make sure to do that for you guys on Wednesday. But that is gonna do it for us on this Sunday evening, which we'll post it most likely on Monday. But you guys will be able to see it, and then of course see the results of this Opetaia fight. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for your patience, of course, once more. For my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapiche. I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, a.k.a. Fight Fiend Miggs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you once more for joining us. Enjoy your work week. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care. Peace.